So even and odd functions. Functions even if you could replace every x with negative x and it doesn't change. It's the same exact function. That's even. Okay, so you just have to go through, replace every x with a negative x. And if it turns out to be the same thing, if nothing changes after you simplify, then it's even. A function is odd if you plug in that negative x, and it's almost the same thing except every sign has been changed. You've multiplied everything by -1. Oops, like this. Okay, this is odd, and this is even. This question specifically asks if it's odd, but notice both of them start with the same idea. You plug in a negative x, so we'll be able to check if they're even or odd. So here on this function, I'm going to plug in negative x. The negative's on the outside. It's not being this negative is not being squared. And then we got 3 times negative x minus 2. And if I simplify, a negative squared is the same thing as if it was just regular x. And then times a negative, we have to change that sign. So it's neither even nor odd. I plugged in negative x, and I got the same term here, different term here. It would be odd if every sign changed. If this is positive, negative, negative. Sorry, positive, negative, positive. It's negative, negative, negative. It didn't work out. Okay, it's neither even nor odd for this one. For this one here, if I plug in negative x, I get 3 times negative x. Sorry, that's a negative 3 times negative x, which equals 3x. Okay, so this one's odd because this is the same thing as if I was to multiply the entire original function by -1, right? If you multiply this by -1, you get positive 3x. And that's what we got when we plugged in f of negative x. So this one is odd. Okay, let's do this one. So I'm plugging every x, I'm replacing every x with negative x. So a negative value cubed stays negative. So this is the same thing as saying negative 2x to the negative third. And then plus a negative x, I'm going to write that as minus x. Look, this is the same thing as if you multiplied the original function by -1. Negative, negative, right? So this is odd. And if it's odd, it can't be even. Okay. And then over here, look, it's basically the same thing. You can probably just skip over and say this is odd, right? But if you plug in negative x, -9 times negative x makes positive 9x. So that's odd. This one here is probably going to be neither even nor odd. If you plug in negative x, you get -4 times negative x plus 1. So that's 4x plus 1. Look, this sign changed, but this one didn't. So it's not quite odd. That's neither even nor odd. It looks like there was no even function there. Like this one would be even. Because if you plug in negative x, it gets squared and it turns out to be positive. This is an example of an even function.